All right, we going live?
Oh, should I put my head things on?
Uh-huh.
You're not my real dad.
Hello, everybody. Start saying hi.
Hello.
Today we're talking about Al and random things.
Yep.
We can't hear you because your mic is down there.
Before we get into anything, I'm going to say JPL.
Mute those. It's coming back through.
Oh. JPL, don't rebuild your 3800. Leave it as it is.
Don't touch it.
I don't care if it has 350,000 miles.
Right.
If it
Leave-
ain't broke, don't fix it.
Leave the bottom end alone, because you'll get a beautifully built engine and it'll last you 10 miles.
Yep.
So
They can survive.
They
but
can.
You don't need to.
no, you
Less
don't
is
need to.
more. We do great things on the stock L36 bottom end.
It is a great day at ZZP.
We
Want to be boosted?
set multiple records on junkyard bottom end.
Sounds
It's
like
just
a-
one of
sounds
those
like an LS
engines.
car.
Yeah. LS is the same way for the most part.
It's a baby LS.
Everyone read that okay?
I can read.
Oh, there's Jeff
I have
McGovern.
eyes. There he came in.
The live?
Man, we are so bright in here.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about
Ooh.
overrated, underrated. We won't be able to do polls today, but we'll still throw some in on the fly.
Yep.
Did you see him? Did you see freaking
Is Facebook frozen?
Jeff McGovern's?
Yeah, I saw that.
What did he say?
The two people fighting in Gamma Uncensored.
Oh, yeah.
He said overrated them for them. Like, oop.
The zoologist, Mr. Pringle, and the honey badger in one room.
Yep. Mr. Pringle.
Who's Mr. Pringle?
That's
You?
me.
He
Yeah.
was.
Wait.
I was, because of my mustache. I posted a
What?
photo with my sunglasses and my mustache, and I did look like Mr. Pringle.
That's hilarious.
And so Max put it on a Pringle scan. So now I'm Mr.
Mac,
Pringle.
it wasn't Max the one that made the Zootopia one too?
Yeah.
Oh my God! It's
So
so
if we
good.
start calling him Mr. Pringles can, Erica's just going to laugh. 'Cause she knows that ain't true.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shane used the ones that come on the sensors. We include the green ones just because.
Or if you have an LHU manifold.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll let our host talk.
All
a
right,
bit.
here we go.
People on Facebook, let me know if it's frozen. On our little display thing it is, but it might be fine because nobody's complained
Yeah,
yet.
I'm still
so.
sitting there drinking
Al
a milk.
slurping his milkshake.
We have a freeze frame of Al just like...
And I haven't had a milkshake in like a year.
Tastes good, doesn't it?
Yeah, this ice cream's good, but it's
Oh, no.
the beer.
But yeah,
Oh, no,
we're,
the beer. Suck, Tyler, suck.
we're running without our
can't.
director today again.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Eric had a half day today, so he set this up for us, and we pressed go. So let us know if there's any problems. We'll try to fix them.
Yep.
Other than that, we're just keeping it loose today. We're talking about Al, talking about the honey badger,
Talking about half miling.
and then we're
I'm
just
gonna
going to go off on a tangent, probably.
Whip
For,
up the, well, I mean, that's kind of standard
Yeah.
operating procedure.
We always have to tangent.
yeah. Is
Uh,
it better if I warn them about it, or if we just do it?
Both.
We have the same 14 people that listen to us every week, so they know. They all know.
But for the other 14 to 15,
It's not frozen on my phone. So
Yeah.
that's the
Looks like it's
Paul
good.
said it's working.
computer.
Yeah,
Uh,
you regulars, thanks for stopping by. JPL, Jeff McGovern, you
Yep.
guys are always here before we even start.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Love that.
All right, guys. Well, welcome to Trevor. What episode is this?
Mid-40s.
Can you,
I think
you
it's
not
like-
know this?
I think it's like 43.
Yeah, it's...
Why don't
it's
you know?
42
You're like the
sounds-
host. You're supposed to know this stuff.
Nah, Eric keeps track.
Oh,
yeah.
He's a producer. He does everything.
Oh, okay.
So when he's not here, we're
we don't know what to do.
Uh,
Well,
Introductions.
HP tuner. Yes, everyone should buy HP tuners. We were
Everybody.
just talking
Everyone.
about that earlier today.
Everyone with a mod car should have HP tuners
Big
and,
facts.
and a laptop.
We
Big
are
facts.
in the future
Unless
now,
you're
guys.
like a high roller running a standalone.
Well, yeah.
it's still okay, Mr. Baller. Okay, just dump your dick on the table. Calm down. Get it
yes.
fast.
See,
Uh,
that's the funny thing, because like obviously there's always people shop car. Like,
No,
there's a reason this build
Ow.
took me 3 years.
I'll pay
Okay.
for it all.
Yep.
1320 stream, Al passing the Corvette. There's
Yeah,
actually...
that was great.
Don't watch it now, because stay in our live stream. But we put a link in the description. So our video is coming out probably next week, but for now you can watch 1320s. They did
Yep.
a great job.
And they have a lot of great photos on their Facebook.
Oh,
so look
heck
through their
yeah.
album.
Yeah, they do.
And
that
Al
dude's pretty
gapped
talented.
a Corvette.
Oh,
I
not
did.
even gapped. He like
I think the announcer had it right.
he straight fatality'd
That
him.
Corvette put it in reverse. Which I don't know what the guys' runs for the rest of the event were
He was low 130s.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Paul
So
says,
was
get to the
he
race car stuff.
A little generous on his horsepower rating, or
Oh, how much did he say?
800?
No.
I hope he wasn't, or I hope he had something wrong with
He
it.
must have.
It might have been one of Tim's cars.
Oh.
Those things add horsepower every time you go
Oh,
to an
that's
event.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the spectator drags.
Right.
All right, the people want to know. Al, give us a recap. What happened this weekend? What'd the honey badger do?
Well,
What is the honey badger?
Wait, should we string
Yeah.
him along? Tell them tell them what the setup
Yeah,
is now.
yeah.
Let's
Let's-
string him along a little
let's
bit.
go
I
ahead
like
and do
that.
that.
There's
So-
so many ways we could get into this.
Okay. All right. How about this? Let's just set it up.
Let's just set it up to where you guys feed me questions.
All right.
Because
Yep.
I'll just start
Yeah.
rambling.
All right. So, first off, give us a quick rundown of the history and then the current setup. Like, where'd you get the car? How long have you had it? Et cetera, and then give us a current setup on the car.
So I was born in 1988.
Jesus.
Not that far back.
Fast forward.
Fast forward. So to kind of skip through how it got to where it's at now, I originally bought, and some of this is going to be repeat from things we mentioned before. I originally bought the car because I just wanted a fun daily driver. My cousin had one. It was stock. It's like, this is kind of quick. Got it very quickly, started modding it. I think my first mod was sawzawing the muffler off, which I drove 1 mile down the road and went back and clamped it back on. Undo.
So for all you straight pipe LSJ guys out there,
It's so bad.
King LSJ has just told you your straight pipe cars sound bad.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Yep. If he's King LSJ, does that make me Prince LSJ?
You're like Jester LSJ.
Oh. Anyway.
You're king of the first to neutrals.
Ooh. Nope, that's it.
That's
All right.
okay.
Okay.
I
all
thought it was
right.
more coming.
Back to the story, I guess.
Yeah, in fact, that's actually it's kind of a little bit what I'm doing because Nick Israel that made a comment like, your ZZP guys don't know what turbo's on his car. I'm like, but it is an 8274. We took it off my car so he can use it.
Yeah, that changed last minute.
Yeah, it
so
did.
Thursday
it's not a
Yeah,
lot
it's not
of people's
them. It's
fault
getting
that they
shit.
didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
Like we say last minute, we mean like last second.
Yeah.
Like the car never started with the new turbo on it
Till we got there.
until we got there and got it off the trailer.
We were pretty confident.
Yep.
I was very confident. Didn't even take the other turbo with us.
Nope.
Which I should have because the speed sensor was broke. But anyway,
Anyway.
started modding. Got to the point where I needed to tune it. The only place around was Lingenfelder.
Kate.
Ryan, please don't eat and talk.
Hey, shouldn't you be at work right now? Go away.
So Lingenfelder's kind of a high-end shop, and they wanted a lot of money to tune it for basic bolt-ons. And I saw how much HP tuners cost. I looked at the software, like, I can figure that out. So I made the worst financial decision of my life and used student loan money to buy HP tuners.
Yep.
And a new laptop. And I became self-tuner guy. And
Self-tuner guy.
For years, I think we covered this last time. I was the hardcore blower guy. Turbos are for losers that can't make it work. And then I rode in a turbo car and was like, oh,
I've been wrong all
I've
along.
been wrong.
We all start off like that, though. We all
Yeah,
do.
we do. Turbo swapped, went through like 10 different turbos.
Yeah, we all do that pretty much.
But like I went through 10
Not
turbos
that.
because that's like the reason I love the car is tinkering with it and changing things all the time. And like I'm kind of scared of the day that it's finally
Done.
done.
You can never have a done car
No,
because
it'll
then
never
it's boring.
Yeah.
This is true.
I'm very excited for this winter, but we'll get to that later.
All Ryan wants is a done car.
Quite literally.
we talked about this on the road trip. You need to buy a Model 3 Performance.
Yeah.
With what money?
Well, that's your problem, not
yeah.
ours.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just
I-
picked the car for you.
ZZ Bucks.
I still don't think they have enough character yet.
Yeah.
Not
I
yet.
don't know.
Coils and wheels takes them a long way, though.
Yeah,
Long
I'd be
way.
curious to drive like a suspension dialed one.
Yep. Anyway.
Anyway,
Anyway.
there's going to be a lot of anyways.
Yep.
This is going to be nothing but tangents for an hour and a half.
This is your job now, though, because you're telling the story, so you have to ring it back around to
Yep.
your
That's
story.
true. Yeah, but if Aaron's watching, at least he'll follow along because his brain just clicks one thing to the next, just like mine does. So, 10 turbos. That did the first compound setup because I was running the 362 with nitrous, got sick of filling the bottle. And I'm like, hey, if I just add another turbo, I don't have to run nitrous anymore. And I was right, but it was a nightmare to work on because I didn't design it as a compound from the ground up. I just jammed a smaller turbo in the middle of what I already had.
Yep.
I made it work. But It took me like a day to get the head off
Yeah, it was
because there was so much stuff.
a
in the way.
piping nightmare.
It was a piping nightmare. So, never really cared for quarter. Started doing some half-mile stuff because I was not a good driver, not a good launcher. Never cared to put the money into setting up the car to launch properly. So I started doing half miles. Ran really well. I actually ran 164 on stock bottom end.
Yeah.
So for those of you out there with like bolt-on turbo stuff, you can do very well in a half mile.
Yeah, like a 257 setup can take you well above 150.
Yeah, especially if you put some time in aero, which I know
Oh,
now,
yeah.
because the aero is huge.
We'll get
An
to that.
Ecotec car, like the Cobalt and Ion, are both somewhat aerodynamic. You can get into the 150s pretty easily with just standard off-the-shelf stuff.
Yeah.
From there,
It's very exponential.
It's extremely exponential when you start battling drag versus power. So, and it's a lot easier to get your drag down than it is to
add
just
that
throw
power.
more power at it.
Yep.
Because so we get there this weekend. I had the new closed off bumper on it. I didn't have time to do side skirts. We threw together a very last minute drag wing, which you can see in the pictures that 1320 took, and I do not care what it looks like.
It's freaking dope,
because
though. I like it.
Worked so well.
Ice
it was
cream.
perfect.
Yeah, we all got ice cream.
Yeah.
Ryan likes vanilla with triple extra.
No,
sprinkles.
Ryan, how do you say it? Vanilla with a shitload of sprinkles. That's what you have to tell the
He's
people.
not allowed to talk with his mouth full
Yep.
because Kate's here.
Yes, Tyler Christopher, get HP tuners. Yes. Anyway. onward.
So yeah, even Mike from Professional Awesome was there with the English guys and helping us out, and he was checking out my car on Sunday when he was there, and even he was like, "Hey, yeah, do whatever you got to do to test an idea." And now that you know it works, now we can go back to the shop and we can
Make it look good.
recreate the drag wing, make it look a little better, give it a little more support, make it adjustable.
Well, and to think, we put that wing on Thursday night. It was $10 worth of Kydex,
Yeah.
$5 worth of aluminum angle iron, some bolts, and then we went to Lowe's and got the other angle iron
with the holes in it.
Yeah, and I put that on Sunday morning,
Yeah.
and it worked great.
It worked so well. Like that, everyone that's asked me about how the event went, the first thing that I talk about is the thing I'm the most happy with is how stable the car felt.
Yeah.
Because I never thought I was going to get it to that point. 3 years ago when it ran, it was sketchy, super sketchy, all over the place, taking up 3 lanes. Like when we ran at Battle Creek, Matt and Becky were back at the starting line. And Matt looks at Becky and I don't know how he drives that thing. And it probably was just poor choices is how I drove it. Just keep the pedal down until you're at the end no matter what.
Yep.
And, fast forward 3 years and I don't make those kind of choices anymore.
Yeah,
So,
it's a little different now.
I think that's why I was so incredibly happy with this event because it means I'm not done with the car yet.
Yeah.
That was the number one thing going into this. It had to feel safe and it had to feel secure, stable. Keep the rubber down, no squirreliness, because that determined whether this is it or if I take the car
Kept going.
farther.
Yeah.
And so now I know it's time to go hard.
Yep. So, for everyone watching and listening, 3 years ago it ran 167 or 168?
167.
Yeah, so 167, that was on the 7670. No aero, just like
No aero.
nuts of steel, keep your foot to the floor,
Yeah.
and turn the boost up to
It
11.
was scary. And it was chirping fourth gear.
Yeah.
Because the car was lifting because there was so much air under the front of it.
So then come out, obviously it's, as we've explained, it's a pretty basic engine setup. It's just a girdle Gen 3.
Yeah,
Diamond
the
pistons,
only thing
RJEs,
between the
I don't know.
valve cover and oil pan that's not on the website is the cams.
Yeah.
And the only thing different about the cams is our normal Stage 3 turbo is reverse split, so the intake's a little bigger than the exhaust. And then mine just has 2 of the intake cams from
Yeah.
that setup.
So,
So if someone is at the point that they
Need
are at
them?
the point they need that we could
We could do
work
it.
that out for you. It's not like there's nothing secret or special about the car. It's a straight up ZZP race block. I went with the 9-to-1 compression option because the pistons are a little bit lighter, and I knew I was going to be winging the snot out of it.
yep.
And it took it like a champ.
So,
I missed your name. It's barely cut off, but someone was asking, if the aero helped with quarter mile.
Yes, it did help with quarter mile too. I was still going fast enough there for it to greatly help with the stability, because the first shakedown passes where it ran like the high 12s at 120 something. Ryan's he's just enjoying his ice cream. Just leave
He
him
just
alone
likes
right
his
now.
ice cream.
So yeah, when I went and did the shakedown runs, it was darting all over the place on the top end from getting air underneath it. And then when we went back to Stanton with the closed bumper on, boom, completely different car.
Yeah. Just being at the starting line at the half mile and watching it. I mean, you could see a little down on the top end, like going like this, but I mean, you're doing 150 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But first, second, third, as you disappeared, was just dead straight. It was great.
The
I mean,
car has never gone that straight before.
The suspension too, I think, was huge. 'Cause
Yes.
That
Actually
too,
having
yeah.
proper spring rates. And that was partly my fault, that I was always scared of making it ride like a shopping cart. So I never wanted to go crazy on the springs. But I kind of had to. If I was soft springs in the front, the thing would have been nosediving on the top end.
Yeah. Welcome to Stance Nation.
Yeah, I guess.
Uh-oh.
Although I can't lower the car anymore because the tires are so big.
So, the 171
Yep.
was on a Borg Warner 8374, which Ryan graciously donated last minute to the Honey Badger. We got it out there. That was the third pass?
Third pass.
Third pass of the day. You
So
went
first pass I went out on full gate pressure, which with that turbo ended up being about 16 pounds. The highest speed I had recorded in my data log was 140. At the top of third gear, I let out, coasted for a second, pulled the chute. Then
actually
crossed.
before the
I pulled
beams.
the chute before the beams, and I was down to 116 by the time I crossed the beams. So knowing how that run went, came back and looked at the data log. I was okay. We're good to go.
Yep.
Because we also had relocated the parachute tether point.
Yeah.
Because I needed to get the center.
Had never
up
tested
closer to the center of gravity.
parachute.
Had never tested it, so that's why I started at low speed. The parachute felt amazing. It's a Simpson X chute, so they're made to not open harshly. And I could watch it in my rear view mirror. I could see the drone chute launch out, and it would just kind of just flutter open and gently pull the car back. And from there, it was game on.
Yeah.
So I went back. I threw in the boost tune from when I ran the 10.9, and that ran 159,
159
on the next pass.
So, half mile to quarter mile, typically most cars will pick up 20 to like 25, 30, somewhere around there in the what you would call the back half. You picked up
41 on my 171 pass, which
Yeah.
is not
normal.
not normal when
Wait.
you're finishing it.
I made a back half yeet machine sticker,
And it lived up to its name.
It yeets.
Like the people we were talking to, and the friends of ours that are familiar with half mile stuff, I'm just talking about what I had done at the quarter and what I thought the car could do. And I'm like, they knew it trapped high 120s in the quarter, and I'm talking about, no, it should go
do-
mid 170s.
yeah.
And they're like,
Uh,
you
what?
sure about that? And I don't know how the car does it. It's just how it works.
You have good gearing and stuff. Sorry, Ashley, I got to
yeah.
talk now.
it's PFM.
Well, it's also
Yeah,
you've
PFM.
made
Like gearing
two
ratio,
quarter mile
yeah.
passes. Like
Oh, yeah.
if
Yeah.
you set up a little different practice, did a ton, you could probably get a much better quarter mile.
Oh, by the end of the season, I think
Yeah.
I'll be trapping the quarter in the 140s.
Yeah.
How much boost were you running on that 8374?
39.8 PSI.
People ask,
and that wasn't even on the
That
171.
wasn't on
Yeah.
The 171 was like 32 and fourth.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we said, all right, Zoot Tune time. Let's turn it up. And
Well,
then
see, on the 171 pass, my injectors were maxed, and the fuel pump was
Mm-hmm.
maxed. But I was also running 95% ethanol.
yeah.
So we grabbed some 100 octane low lead, threw that in to get the ethanol content down. I should have made another pass at the same boost to make sure that worked well.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I turned it up. Ran into an ignition issue on the 3-4 shift where the ignition just completely cut out for like a full second. And then when the power came back, it shook the chute launcher cord loose, so the chute went out early. But I mean,
didn't
the run
realize
was
how-
wasted anyway.
Those things are set up till this weekend when I was like up close to one.
Yeah.
Like number one, they're terrible to put back in.
Yes.
That
Yeah, they
sucks.
suck.
They suck.
It's
to
like
repack.
a 15-minute project with two
Well,
people.
the other problem though is that that bag is very old and they shrink with age.
Up. Yeah.
And it's sat out in the sun for 6 years.
Yeah.
But I saw
if
some
not
of the
more,
like
yeah.
the
Yeah.
Baller GTR and Lambo ones too. They struggled to put
They're
them back
still
together.
fighting with
yeah.
it. Yeah.
They have like the fancier ones where there's a little crank that can help get it in, but you still have to shove that
Shove it
boy
in,
in
yeah.
and have another
But then,
person.
After that, the scarier part is like these like tulip leaves come in and there's little holes in the corners and there's just like a needle.
That's
that
it.
just chills out in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
It's
Like
just
you just
one
tug
little
on that
thing.
a little bit.
And it's just poof.
So now, Noah, that's the next project. But so I mean, I think the people do need to know how did it get the name, the Honey Badger?
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
That's a good story.
Oh yeah. So 3 years ago, when we went to the Battle Creek half mile, I did have a black hood on the car for most of its life, and
Really?
I did, yeah.
Wow.
When you started here, it had a black hood on it.
Where
And
is
black
that now?
wheels. It is hanging in Jason Widdowson's barn as a wall decoration
Oh, okay.
How did it end up there?
because that's where I swapped the hood at.
Oh.
And you just left it there?
No, he has a silver hood that I was running for a while.
There were other
I don't
colors.
know where the black
Yeah,
hood
what
went.
happened to the black one?
I don't know.
Isn't it in your rafters in your garage? Because
So-
you were here and in your house when you had the black hood still.
There's only one color hood in Saturn Ions that hasn't been on your car. Right?
Red.
Isn't
No,
there
yeah.
four
No.
colors?
Red
No.
and blue.
They're
Oh,
red,
yep.
red and blue,
I forgot
yeah.
about the blue.
Yeah, I'll never do that. It's white for life now.
Yep. Has to be.
So Mark Meyer, my illegitimate son, allegedly, he's a little old for that. There's a long backstory on that, and any of the Cleveland guys watching will get it. So he found a white hood, I don't know how, out there, and jammed it into his Cobalt and brought it out here on the dyno day
Yeah.
for me.
He fit it in a
He
Cobalt.
fit it in a Cobalt.
Which I still don't understand.
I still don't understand. how.
Angeline says Jason has the black one with the vents on it.
Okay, so I don't know where the...
Where the silver one is?
No, Jason. Yeah, Jason said his the black one. Jason Widdowson.
Well, I don't know where the other one went then.
Don't matter. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Anyway,
I might have threw that one in the trash.
Probably should have. Anyway, continue.
Probably,
Yeah, anyway, Mark brought that out. We swapped it onto the car, and I only had like a week before we went to Battle Creek. So I just left it white because it didn't look terrible.
no.
We're at the Battle Creek running, and there was a lot of NA muscle cars there. Camaros, Chargers, Challengers, whatever, which would beat me by like a couple semis off the line, and then I would just freight train past them about mid-track. And we were back in the pits between the morning and afternoon sessions, and two of the guys with Chargers or something come over, and they're just losing their minds about how crazy it was that like they get out there and race and like, yeah, we're winning, and then all of a sudden just wow, here it comes, and they're like, it's just it's small and it's loud and it just takes on anything, like doesn't give a shit. It's like a little honey badger, and I
And
was
there
like,
it was.
There it is.
You're right.
There it
That's
is.
exactly what it is.
Yep.
And so from then on, it's been the honey badger, and the white hood is staying for the life of the car.
Yep.
Is it just fits? I can't imagine it any other way now.
Yep. I missed a question 2 up on Facebook. Dana, maybe? I don't know. Full bolt on E85 or LTG, 320?
320, 330. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go from there. Quick, and I saw 3 comments on this. One, as of right now, we are not doing anything for Metro Cruze. That was someone asked.
I think some of the people here are going to drive through it. but
Yeah.
We're
Is
not
that
doing a
next
big
weekend?
thing or anything.
The
Yeah,
27th.
I don't know.
Okay.
26th, 27th.
But yeah,
What?
go on.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be out walking around.
Number 2, as of right now, we will not have a down day this year. A lot of stuff going on, and sometimes you Ecotec guys still aren't showing up like 3,800 guys, so I
Still
don't
don't
want to
show
hear
up.
nothing.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ecotec guys, y'all failed. So, but not saying everyone ever failed, but that's it.
Some.
Okay, so we got how the Honey Badger is, the current setup on it. What manifold and turbo are you using?
Oh, Raleigh, yes. Yes, I do want you to do some aero and compete with me because that'd
That'd be
be
cool.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There you go. What turbo manifold and everything? 'Cause obviously your turbo's up front. What did you do for that, Al?
So on the exhaust side, it is a slingshot header.
ZZP slingshot header.
Once again, there's nothing really crazy or special about this car.
Yeah.
I wanted to put the turbo on the driver's side, and
Conveniently.
conveniently look underneath Kyle's bench, and there's 3 used slingshot headers sitting there. And I'm like, huh. Wonder if that'll clear the motor mount.
That goes the right way.
It goes the way I need it to. So I stuck it in the car, and sure enough,
Yep.
it just barely fit. And so one of the other advantages of doing that is if I want to make a cooler looking manifold later, we have a fixture with the head flange and the outlet.
Yeah.
So I can build one that fits in that fixture, and it'll drop right into my existing
There you
turbo
go.
kit.
That would be sweet.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
Then intake manifold, I'm running one that I built a long time ago. It actually belongs to Adam Wagner. I convinced him to let me borrow it while he's still
borrow it
working on his
indefinitely.
car.
Yeah.
Because
He-
Adam hasn't finished his car in like 13 years.
Yeah, Adam's car hasn't ran and never will, so just calling him out. I hope he's watching. He doesn't, but
But yeah, it's got that. I could go on a whole tangent about that intake manifold too.
It is a very
Oh.
sought after item. Intake.
Dylan is getting a bumper. At least that's what he told us. So,
yeah. But he said, I hope someone in here has one because he still hasn't found one.
maybe he's
Actually,
just looking for
The
one.
Snowball's OEM bumper is still in my shed.
Dylan, if
Oh, yeah.
if you want to paint one, I have an unpainted one in my
Oh.
garage.
There you go, Dylan.
Let me know.
It does have a lip?
No.
Dylan, if you paint that thing, when you paint that thing, put a lip on it.
Nah,
Do
he
not-
doesn't need a lip because he's gonna make a bumper like mine, and he's gonna come run half mile too.
Oh, then that's fine.
Okay, well then, yeah.
Well, then you don't even need an SS one.
Just
You
get
just
a
get a
base
base model
model
one.
one.
Yeah.
Go to the junkyard. I'll go to the junkyard for you.
You could probably find a red one then.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
red base models are like everywhere. Sorry, base model guys, but
No, they are.
if you're gonna do that.
And then the missing part of the equation is it is on a FuelTech FT550.
oh yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
So what convinced you to go to a standalone over the LSJ PCM, which admittedly it's old. There's like 10 tables. There's not much control. So I'm going to guess that's why.
Cobalt
Mainly.
SS front lip. You can still buy them from GM. They're like $300, but
Yeah. Yep.
I think what was finally the breaking point of going to the FuelTech was I just was sick of having to fight to get the car to do what I wanted it to. Mm-hmm. It worked. You can go a long way on the LSJ PCM. It does okay.
But you have to do some tricks.
You have to do some tricks. You have to run a separate standalone boost by gear. You have to run the watt box for the no lift shift. I did have a watt box go bad on me.
Yep.
You have
which
to either
just happens sometimes.
Yeah, it does. It's a man-made product. Anything can happen.
yeah.
And it just got to the point where like I knew that I was going to be taking more weight out of the car, getting the BCM out, getting other stuff out of the way, and the amount of time that was going to have to go into rewiring it the way I wanted. Plus, I knew from back then that I eventually was going to do another compound setup.
Yeah.
And so I really needed more controls to be able. The setup that I made before did exactly what it was supposed to, but there's more that I want to do with it. Without getting too technical, when you have the proper controls, you can kind of switch back and forth between sequential and compound on the fly. Mm-hmm. And that is a very, very handy thing for compounds on a gas engine setup. It makes it a lot easier to control your power to the ground.
Yeah, the boost basically how it controls boost is pretty sweet.
Yes.
And
It's
how
for the
much
most
more
part-
control you have.
For the most part, it's a pretty self-regulating system. But if you have the controls to add a couple solenoids in there, you can make things a lot smoother.
Yeah.
And you can make it run sequential when you need low power.
Mm-hmm.
And the FuelTech does that as two separate, completely independent wastegate tables that do not have to be tied to each other at all.
Yeah.
Riley's asking, for people who know, again, this is a lot of the work that people have to put in. Riley asks, how difficult was the wiring? Could you use the factory energy harness and splice into it? I'm not going to answer your question, but I will say for the past year, I've been coming back at 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. Make sure he's good, help out with anything, and then lock up.
Yep.
So,
Yes, you could piggyback it. And I don't think it would be that bad. Really. Because you would want to leave the stock ECU so that your BCM's happy.
Yeah, and you could use
and all
your
that stuff works
cluster
fine.
and all
and
that.
you keep your cluster functional.
Although
And it's very common for people to piggyback fuel techs and even to run like the FT450, which is their base model. It's only $1,000, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be pretty easy, I think, to run that in a piggyback setup.
Don't they have a 350 now?
Used to. They
Oh,
don't have that
don't.
anymore.
Okay.
450 is the bottom. They have a 500 Lite, which doesn't have a display.
Oh,
So that's another option, too, because if you're still using the stock ECU, you can keep that for all your gauging.
there you go.
And then piggyback the fuel tech in for everything that matters. But I decided to completely strip the car out and go completely full standalone. So the only factory wires left in the car are the taillight harness. That's it.
Yep.
It says you
Everything.
meant to use factory engine harness with FT550. I don't know
Oh,
what that
yeah.
means.
Yeah, same thing. You would just have to tie it in correctly.
Joe
the fuel
says,
tech is
oh,
made
sorry.
for doing that, actually, and they have some extra accessories that help with that, like signal clamps.
Yeah.
So you can make it work pretty well. Like if you go on a Fuel Tech's page, they're doing exactly that with a C8 right now, where they have
Yep.
because you can't tune the C8 computer, so they have an FT450 overlaid on the factory C8 harness, and they're making stupid power with it.
I love it.
All right, Raleigh, you and Al are going to talk that through email. We're not going to tell you how to do everything right now. Literally.
Yeah.
Email Al. You know his email. You guys can talk about that after the podcast.
I'm already confused.
Ben, highest boost on an LTG boost is a lot of people get hung up on it. If you're on a stock turbo, it's most efficient at like 22 to 23 psi max.
Yeah.
25 is overspinning it. You're just blowing hot air, and that's perfectly safe on stock internals. You know, it's more about your maintenance, how you drive
Refer
it.
back to the Al Yeats Kids episode to understand why you don't want to run that turbo at really high boost pressures.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
So-
something I learned from working here. Is I always figured boost was your limit of whatever, and then L
Boost
or
is
whatever.
boost is boost, but efficiency is not efficiency.
Yes.
Correct.
Well, and also, engines break under torque, generally, right?
Generally.
So
Yeah, rods
usually,
break under torque.
Usually torque bends your rods and the RPM rips them apart.
Yep.
So if you have a laggier turbo, you can kind of get away with a little more power rather than like KO4 hitting
Yeah.
at $2,000.
And the slingshot is a perfect example. Our slingshot turbo will make boost very easily in fifth gear. So you have high boost, low load, and that puts you in a weird spot, and they just go.
Yep. Also, I saw a comment. Someone that suggested we send out Smarties with all of our orders to maybe stop the customer service emails. Don't think that would happen.
No, wouldn't make a difference.
Yep. I do like Smarties, though. Smarties are really good.
We
But-
would have to buy so many Smarties.
Yep. So, Al, just for reference, too, why don't you list off, let's say, the top 5 fastest half miles for Ecotec and where the Ion currently
Oh.
stands.
Do I count myself multiple times?
Sure, why
Because
not?
it's,
Yeah, why
it's
not?
a ZZP two-tone car, and then me.
Pretty much.
Taylor Lear ran high 150s, I think. Justin Reed ran high 150s.
Yeah.
Justin Reed broke in 160s.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, so it should be the two-tone Cobalt at 174.
174.
174.
Which
So
I
that's
did. I really wanted to take that record, but
It'll happen.
it didn't happen this weekend. That's
Again,
fine. The
it-
weekend was still an overwhelming success.
Yep. Number 2 is you at 171.
Yep.
Point whatever, blah, blah, blah. Number 3 after that, I believe, is Justin Reed. Again, these are all ZZP built cars, guys. I'm just putting this out there. That's the ZZP Ion. He was trapping like high, like 158s, and he took a bunch of interior stuff out. And then he trapped like 161.
Okay.
And then
And that
after
car's
him
still
would be
running.
Taylor.
Or you.
What did Taylor trap specifically?
I don't remember. It's either you or Taylor.
Yeah, either way, the next 2 spots are me and Taylor. I did mine many years ago. It's still the fastest LNF one. But, again, I haven't gone back, and I was hoping somebody would break it by now. But anyway.
LNF people sleeping.
Yep. It was 159.23. And that was stock bumper on a 235 tire, no aero. Just driving.
With the big wang?
Nope. Well, that
Oh, you
was.
went with the
Base
gin
model
trunk.
trunk. Oh, no,
yeah,
it's
the
gin trunk.
gin trunk. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
Jin.
Gin
Yeah.
trunk.
Tej-
Yep.
We're all too American to pronounce that.
So,
Yes, we know BFAB.
Yeah, that's
For those of
heckin'
you guys
fast.
that don't know who Brandon Fetter is,
that's the Cavalier with the
Cavalier.
LSJ
Yeah.
that makes a shit ton of power and goes
Shit
Oh,
ton of
real
power
fast.
and moves real fast.
We were
Yeah.
just looking at your
And-
Instagram account.
And
like
it's
last
a
week.
Manuel
and
still.
it's a Manuel.
Or it
Very
was.
cool.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. F23 at that. So all you Cobalt people
No,
making
Joe.
excuses, stop. Oh look, Aaron O'Neill showed up as well.
Hey! Hey, buddy.
Well, yeah. So pretty much there are 5 Ecotecs that have gone pretty fast.
I'm glad Brandon showed up though because I'm coming for him now.
Oh,
He
I
keeps
love it.
talking about getting the Cavalier out of retirement, and I'm hoping I can push him to do it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
There you go.
But he, off the top of my head, I think it was a 977.
Whew!
So I got a long ways to go.
That's moving.
fast.
1 whole second from 10.9 is...
Is a lot.
That's a
of
lot.
work. His car's lighter than mine. His car makes more power than mine, and I have no doubt he's a way better driver than I am.
Yeah,
So I have a lot of work to do in every direction.
He says he's on the dyno, so I can't hear everything, but he's trying to hang out.
He
Well-
spends a lot of time on the dyno.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming to hang out, Aaron. So, where's the freaking front of this? There it is. But yeah, so again, you've moved just because you were still in the same place you were at 167, but you've gone.
Took a big step up.
I don't think I want to let everyone know. You just may say, "Oh, it's only 4 mile an hour." I don't think you understand how hard it is to get 4 mile an hour.
And now I got to figure out how to get another 39
30
mile an hour.
Ooh, to come.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, you only need 29.5 to
Yeah.
break 200.
That's the next goal.
You just
But
want that T-shirt
That's
too,
what this event was deciding. Is a yes or no on whether I go for the 200.
Yeah.
So one thing to put into perspective, which is cool, our dyno is a little bit older. The rollers are old and kind of worn down, so you can't dyno something at your power level and not spin.
No, with the
Yeah.
gearing that I have, I can't run 4th gear because
Yeah.
it runs faster than the dyno can go.
So theoretically, on 40 pounds, on the 8374, you were making
On the
low
on
sevens.
The, on the 171 pass, it probably was low 7s.
Yeah,
In
so-
4th gear.
On the 39 pound, he's making way more than that.
Yeah,
he's probably,
yeah,
he's probably
he's-
making closer to 8.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
to put that in perspective, if anyone else watches Half Mile in general, Miles Kerr was the world's fastest front wheel drive in his Integra.
Still is.
Still
Well,
is.
he's all-wheel drive now, but he still holds the
Yeah.
front-wheel drive record
So-
at 213.
And
And
when-
Aaron is Mr. Forever 199.
Yep. So with that, back when Miles was running like 170, he was making a lot more power than you.
I believe so. I would have to get. I'll check in with Aaron later and trying to figure out what. Or since Aaron's
There it
still
is.
watching, do you remember what power Miles was making when he was in the 170, 180 range?
He said 213.98.
Yeah, that's the front wheel drive record.
Yep.
There's only 2
Really?
front wheel drives in the world over 200.
Yep.
There's Miles.
And
There's a
then-
Prelude from Germany. And if Aaron hadn't have had some unfortunate mechanical problems, he would have been.
He would have.
well into the 200s. That's
Yep.
this
It was
event.
sad
That
Have-
dude had
have-
a rough weekend.
having met Aaron years ago and then hanging out with him all weekend, and he busted ass,
Yep.
just like
750
me and you with
for 182.
doing
Oh,
doing-
Integra from Germany, not a Prelude.
yeah. But me and you swapping Sonic trans, like him and Jaden swapped a trans on Saturday, came back out Sunday, and broke again.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
And they're
gonna
from
save up for
Washington.
that lane speed shoot because
It
I
was
like the way
crazy
yours
how-
look.
Those dudes were having a good time all weekend, even
Yeah.
though like every time they tried to do something, they broke something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at Miles, so you're saying Miles 182 at mid 7s. So that puts me in the spot where I have a little bit more aero work that I need to do
Yeah,
to
yep.
match his level.
Yep.
And from there, I got a lot more power I need to make.
Yeah.
He's got a full underbody, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's got a flat bottom.
Yeah, I had no flat bottom. I had no side skirts. My tires were poking 2 inches past the fender.
Yep.
Like I have
All
some
that
pretty
stuff-
substantial jumps I can make in the aero department.
All that stuff matters, guys. Like all this stuff you think, oh, that's just not gonna make much difference. When you're going 170 some mile an hour, yeah, it does.
And you look at, especially modern cars, and the small aero things that they have that makes them so efficient.
Yep.
You know, we had our Model 3 on the lift the other day, and they have little slits in their bumper that creates like a vortex of air that sends it up and around the tires rather
Oh
than
yeah, the
actually-
air curtain vents.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
which is something that I'm going to try to incorporate into how
Yeah.
I modify the bumper this winter. So
Which again,
put your
easy
learning
to-
hat on, Trevor.
Yeah.
And
I'm
Tesla
excited.
is a really great example because
They're all about efficiency.
it's
in
all
there.
about
It's all
efficiency. They have
efficiency.
flat bottoms. They have air
Which I am
curtain
so
vents.
glad we have one here so I can take notes from
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
So that's what
we have
you
4
always
here
We have
now.
4 here.
We
Yeah.
have 4 here because today, shout out. I'm just gonna say it anyway. Shout out to Kelly. Kelly today got her Model Y.
What? I didn't
Yeah.
even know that.
Yeah, because you're
Model
yeah, you were
Y
doing
An
in
it.
white.
hour ago, it showed up.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's out front. It's all sweet and snazzy and stuff.
In white.
It's
So-
white.
So she got a Trailblazer for sale?
Yeah, right. Yeah, she may. So yeah, we
I think
have.
she told Eden it's his problem now.
We have Zoom's Model S, big boy P100D, whatever those things are called. He's hopefully has a Plaid on the way. We have Kyla's, which is sweet. It's P75. We have the Model 3, and then Kelly just got a Model Y. We have like almost the whole thing. All we need is a
Model X.
Model X.
Yep.
So,
Nah, we can
yeah.
go without the
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't need that one.
No, that has a cool freaking doors.
Say.
Oh, it does have the cool
It
doors.
does have a cool
Okay,
door.
maybe we do need an X.
Yeah.
Yep.
Noah, if you look at our Facebook, or
Yeah,
sorry,
Snowball
our
was on the
Instagram-
road course
I was on the road
in
course a few
July.
weeks ago. Yeah, it was for a shakedown.
Like not
Uh,
even a month ago, was it?
Yeah. No,
Maybe a
July
month,
4th.
yeah.
Just
July,
over.
July 4th, exactly. So it's been on there. There was no really cameras out there. It was just a little day. That's a little shakedown. So things to improve still, but we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. So
I have plans for it.
Al has evidently taken over a little bit of my life, which is I don't mind, but
That's all right. So, Noah, that brings us back to your initial, or not initial, but one question. You said, does it have 3 turbos on it? It does not, has not.
But it has to
will.
now.
but it will.
It has to.
Tyler, it's doing the thing again.
Yeah.
I know.
It's what
Suck
did you
on
do?
it, Tyler.
I can't.
What did you do?
Al said
I
it
don't know,
on
I
the
got a little-
internet, so it's real.
Yeah,
Yeah, so hopefully 1320 comes out with that video because that would be
yeah.
sweet.
1320 interviewed me, and I told them it's going to get 3 turbos, and he said it better.
Yep.
So
No,
I have
it's
to
on
now.
it's on our Instagram page too. I'm sorry, we meant our Instagram page. It's like you literally see a picture of it, and I have a bunch of pictures of it. These guys actually were very nice and bought me pictures of
Yeah.
it for the thing. So yeah, there's a picture of it on track, having a shakedown.
It's we posted it on both, I think.
Yeah.
Might
Yep.
have just
I think
missed
we
it
did.
or something, but
So yeah, the compounds are especially important now that it's targeted on the 200-mile-an-hour run. So the current plan. I also found out that Pikes Peak was canceled this past year because they were redoing something with the strip.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Aaron mentioned that earlier.
So even better surface next year.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because when I mentioned to Kyle when I was talking to him about trying to make it out there, he made it sound like, as far as he knew, it was on for next year sometime in June.
Mm-hmm.
So the current plan is once I have a little break and then get back to working on the car again, everything we do is going to be preparing for that event. Now, the trick with Pikes Peak is it's way, way up there. The air is very thin.
That's a thin air up there, boy.
So cars do set records up there because the air is so thin that you have about a 20% reduction in aerodynamic drag.
Which is cool.
But
that's
But-
a pretty big deal.
you also have a 20% roughly
Less dense
reduction
air.
in
Boost.
air density.
Yeah.
So trying to get oxygen into the engine. Where compounds can really, really help with that is I can run stupid pressure ratios and stupid boost numbers without having to lean on the turbos too hard.
Yeah.
80 kPa. Aaron says 80 kPa ambient. Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow.
DA has been 10,000.
Jesus.
So it's up there. Wow. So I better be in good shape before we go. So I'm
Yeah.
not huffing
Yeah, I
and
know.
puffing.
Like literally, that's somewhere you're walking. You like, Cindy, water.
So I'm really excited to get the compounds on, get some shakedown runs done, and then get the data comparing how it does at altitude. Because you'll have guys like big GTRs, Lambos, stuff like that, who will put bigger turbos than they normally run on for that event. Because as long as you have enough turbo to still make the power you need, you will go faster at higher elevation because there's so much of a drag reduction. Now, the advantage I have with the compounds is when they're run in series like that, they multiply each other.
That's a little harsh.
It's not adding boost.
Oof.
What?
Can't Nelly.
Matthew.
Yep, somebody screenshot that one so we can save it for later.
Oh,
yeah.
shit. Whoa. Damn, Canatelli,
Damn.
calm down,
Just
dude.
calling him out.
He's dead.
He's already dead.
It's not even in the podcast. You
Wow.
can't.
Canatelli. Oh, but it's okay because Canatelli's balder than that already.
Ooh.
So to put the compound stuff into perspective on how it can help at the elevation, it gets kind of tricky when you're trying to switch your brain back and forth between boost pressure and pressure ratio, because a turbo or compressor actually operates off of pressure multiplication. It's not really a boost thing. So it takes whatever is at the inlet and then multiplies it by a certain amount, and then that's what you get coming out.
Yep.
So if at sea level, you're at 14.5 psi roughly.
Yep.
That's like the standard number. And so if you're running a 2-to-1 pressure ratio, it's doubling that. And then boost is your baseline to what your
Above,
manifold
yeah.
pressure is. So 14.5 pounds of boost at a 14-to-1 atmosphere is a 2-to-1 pressure ratio.
Which is where compressor maps come in.
Right. That's where compressor maps come in.
People,
And then
for extra credit, take some time over this weekend. I know you don't want to do your homework and learn about shit.
no one likes homework.
No one likes homework.
I never did homework.
However, you do a lot of homework now.
Now I do.
Yeah, we do a lot of homework. now.
Compressor, learn how to read a compressor map. I thoroughly encourage it. I'm still, we're all still working on getting the fine details of it now, but it makes a huge difference. So anyway,
But that's
continue.
what makes compounds magic. Because,
You can
say, a
shift
single
to where they're
stage
at.
turbo, to run 70, 80 psi, which you see some of these guys doing, they have to have the compressor wheels made. This goes back to the Al Yeats kids again.
Yep.
They have to have very low trim compressor wheels made so that they can get enough air in the inlet, but they need a giant ass backside on that so that it can fling the little kids hard enough to get the boost pressure high enough.
But if you've already compressed that air,
But if I've already compressed the air, and both stages can efficiently run at a 3-to-1 pressure ratio, which is 29 psi. So, like let's rewind a little bit. You have 14.5 pounds atmosphere. You have a turbo that you can run at a 3-to-1, and it's happy. That gets you 29 pounds of boost in the
and
manifold.
then you're
But the
chugging
pressure
that.
ratios multiply. So if I have the first stage running 3-to-1, making 29 psi, and I have the second turbo running 3-to-1, 3 times 3 is 9, so I can get a 9-to-1 pressure ratio in the manifold, which is 800 kPa, which is 113 or 106, 100 and teens psi of boost. But each stage of the turbos only thinks it's making
'Cause they're happy.
about 30
Yeah,
pounds of
30
boost.
pounds.
And they're
boost.
happy.
So that's how you can get crazy boost numbers without completely corking up the exhaust or spinning the turbo to the absolute moon.
Yep. There you go.
So I'm hoping that will be the ticket to running some stupid fast mile an hour at Pikes Peak.
You'll see it. All right. So I'm gonna kind of railroad you here.
Okay.
So it's 4:45.
Oh boy.
So guess what it's time for?
Time for ding 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 ding, overrated, underrated.
If you don't know the rules, overrated, underrated is a game where someone presents a topic and you cannot waffle. You have to either say it is overrated, underrated. There's
No
nothing
fence
on the
riding.
fence. One or the other.
Waffle? Is that a
Waffle.
phrase?
Waffle.
Yeah,
no,
waffle.
yeah, waffle. When you waffle,
Yeah,
you're
you're
doing
waffling.
Not a
like-
phrase, but I knew what he meant.
No, it is.
No, it's a phrase.
It's a
It's a
phrase.
phrase.
You say you're waffling, like you're on
Yeah.
on the fence. You're doing all this.
I've
You're on
never
the
seen
fence.
a waffle do that.
Well,
Did you
guess
guys-
what? Have you ever thrown a waffle at a fence?
You
haven't.
I haven't.
You haven't. Do it, and you'll see. It's gonna
Did you
be right
guys see the post last night where nobody knew what frothy meant?
Yes.
there. What do you mean?
I don't know what that means.
Oh my god! What do you?
Frothy!
Is this
Like froth
the
on a
opposite of
drink.
Do you know
waffle?
what the word froth means?
Yeah, it's like all the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Frothy.
frothy.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a trick question. People didn't know what froth was.
Oh, I thought this was like for
No.
something else.
No,
this,
like
this
frothy.
dude
Frothy.
had his coolant was frothy on the
What do they
surface
call
of
it?
They just didn't know.
There was dozens of people that were like, okay, we're making up words now.
His coolant
No, it's a
reservoir
word.
had some foam in it, and he's
Frothy.
like this frothy coolant, and everyone's like, "Ha ha, idiot!" making up words,
No.
and everyone over 18 was like, "What? That's a
That's a
word.
word.
Like I thought you youngins went to Starbucks and got extra foam on your shit all the time."
Oh Jesus.
Anyway, tangent
Dylan's
there.
starting us out. Underrated, obviously. Sorry, dude.
You know, up until I made my new one, I would have said overrated, but they are severely underrated. Absolutely.
All right. Well, you kind of have to. So, are you doing a group one or a specific one? Like, what do we haven't even talked about it yet.
Yeah.
Well, the customer ones, they can either
Yeah.
pick a person or just make it general.
Yep.
Okay. So.
Wow. What did
well,
I do now?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. All right. So the first one
No.
was from Dylan Johnson. All right. So let's give a vote. Front bumpers, overrated or underrated?
Underrated.
Underrated.
Yep,
She's
underrated.
making fun of my
Underrated?
volume.
That's across the board.
Pay attention.
Underrated.
Also underrated. Dylan, put a bumper on your car, whether it be an aftermarket one, a cool one like Al,
Yeah, make a bumper
stock
like
one.
mine.
Put something on the car.
It don't matter.
Don't
Put
matter.
something
Put
on
the
there.
car.
I did get lots of comments about how my front bumper was very dominatrix looking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was like it wears high heels and fucking slaps dudes at night.
I was thinking more like Hannibal.
I was thinking
that?
Hannibal Lecter, but you know.
Yeah, whatever.
No, I
As long as
anyway.
it scares people, I don't care.
But yeah, Dylan, Cobalts are not one of the cars that they don't look cool without front bumpers. I'm sorry, they just
no,
don't.
they don't.
His
They're
looked
not-
acceptable.
It-
I wouldn't say cool.
No, they look like another Cobalt without a front bumper. I'm sorry, they don't look good without a front bumper.
Like an S13 without a rear bumper looks dope.
Yep, like an
Cobalt
Evo
without a front bumper?
does
No.
not.
Not dope.
No,
Not dope.
Freaking Evo without a front bumper, real sweet.
Yeah, it does look
Yep.
sweet.
Yep,
They look
Yeah,
super
they do,
tough.
Oddly enough.
yep.
Yep.
So,
All right. Somebody come up with a topic, because I'm still thinking here.
A topic?
For overrated, underrated, think of a topic, think of a person.
Oh, okay.
here's one. Here's one
Okay,
for
all
all of
right,
us
here
once
we go.
again. Interiors.
Overrated.
Oh,
Interiors.
I gutted that thing 3 years before I stopped dailying it.
Underrated.
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 I like an interior.
Because I guess like
Fine, be slow. Whatever.
My thing is, I'm just I like the street scene. Like I like the fast like street fighter kind of thing, and I love cool interiors. I think cool
I,
interiors.
I like cool interiors.
Yep.
So
They're easy and they don't break.
It's not riding
Yes.
the fence.
Hold on. I
But
take my answer back.
back half gutted.
I
is
forgot about the
perfect.
Wish.com Supra.
Yeah.
Interiors are severely underrated.
Yep.
Well, you have a
Jesus
dashboard in your race car, even. So
Yeah,
dashboard
Not really.
is kind of
not
a-
really. No, I said interior, not dashes. By the
Uh,
way.
It's
Yeah,
a sun
yeah.
shield for my standalone.
Yeah, like
that's
that's
not,
all it is. Like
The cubby is still there though,
The
which
cubby's
is the
still
best
there.
thing.
Glock
Cubby is-
pouch.
God.
That'd be a tiny glove.
Dude,
Yeah, it's pretty tiny
dude, that
Glock,
thing
yeah.
you cannot fit a Glock in that thing. There's no way.
You can.
You shoot it a couple times, you can.
You have to drill out the backside.
Well, what?
But if you drill
If
the
you
right
modify
side,
anything, you could technically fit it in a headlight too.
Aaron's got a good one. AC in a race car.
overrated.
Underrated.
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 My Camaro hasn't had AC for a year,
Yeah.
and it is awful.
Underrated. I miss it in the snowball.
I'm
But-
gonna say
Your Camaro's,
underrated.
but
your
I get it.
Camaro's a fast daily.
Yeah, it's
because
true. It's
in a race
fast
car,
street
I would delete it, but when I see like full done up race car and they pop the hood and there's AC, I'm like, that's cool.
If you cannot tell me
If you
it
can
had,
retain
it had
it.
no negative effects, none, no power, no weight, like any of that shit.
Well, that's not fair.
No. If you would have AC in a car, you just
Yeah, if it was weightless and took up no space and I could just magically have it cool inside, yeah.
exactly.
But the cost to benefit ratio, nah.
See,
Even
even
Aaron
Aaron says he's 199 miles per hour in the half, and he says underrated.
Yeah, he probably did lose 6 pounds of body weight. So I think he has a triple layer fire suit.
Yeah,
it looks
Bet
real
that's
hot.
a little toasty.
yeah. That's like what was it called? Race suit sweat or something like that from Jackass. What
Sweatsuit
was-
cocktail.
Bleh.
Oh.
AC is a thing. It needs to happen. Like I blast in the ATS right now. I
Yeah.
blast the crap out of that stuff.
All right, Trevor, overrated, underrated, wide body cars.
Wide body?
Yeah,
Oh,
we were talking about this earlier.
yeah. I love it, and I'll keep doing it the rest of my life, but severely overrated.
Yep.
And see, and I
Well,
want to have
why
the
is
experience.
that? Just because
we were talking
you're
about
a
this earlier.
DIY
Yeah.
and the amount of work that goes in it?
No, listen, it's actually pretty good. We talked about this earlier.
The amount of work and the amount you ruin your car for how very few people can utilize it, I think.
He's also talking about like when he's driving and stuff too. Like having
Especially
a
as a
having a
daily.
lower,
Yeah.
wider
Yeah.
car that's wide body makes like it's not a problem because it's already wide. Like,
Like-
having a skinny car that gets a wider, you have to like watch over stuff extra, and it's like takes the daily driver fun out of it.
And
Yeah, not even
the
talking
drive-through
about-
thing.
Full like race car, like obviously you want the widest tire if you're going full tilt road course. Wider, bigger tire is going to help, but even if you're not into that, like a street car, you wouldn't think a wide body would affect it too much, but like it kind of ruins just the leisurely drive around a little bit.
I
So-
like Alex's there. Slicks.
Underrated.
So incredibly underrated, and I wish I had learned that a decade
Tires,
ago.
unfortunately, it kills me, but tires matter, so I'm gonna say underrated too.
Yeah, you can just group that into tires and tire
Yeah.
selection.
Tires, and they matter so much for anything. Like I always want to be the guy. I want to be the Need for Speed guy. Like you take whatever tire you have and you drive it all the time, and it's fast whether you're doing no matter what.
Nope.
That's not a thing.
I love buying tires. It's great.
No, you
tires,
don't.
tires
are-
and brakes.
You do
tires are
not like buying tires.
Yes, I do. I
No.
love buying tires. I
No.
love receiving the tires. I love the process of buying them. I love having them there, not mounted.
This man, I've
And
been
then I
telling
love
this man
brakes.
to buy seats for his fucking Camaro for 2 years, but this boy spent more on tires this year than he has on all the seats ever.
Yeah.
The tires are one of the few things where there is no such thing as a jack of all trades.
Yes.
There's a sucks
Yes.
at everything.
Yes.
Yes, there's definitely.
It is not a jack
No.
of all trades.
It's a one.
It sucks at
Well,
everything.
No,
Jack,
it's a
Jack of all
two.
trades of sucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Yeah,
true.
King suck.
Consistent.
All right, let's just answer this because
Consistently
Jason Wilson's
shitty.
talking shit again. Having a faster half mile LSJ than having the fastest half mile LNF, overrated or underrated?
What's the question there?
Having
I don't know.
You know, I'm
he's just
gonna-
talking shit about how Alice, even an Alice slowest, he's faster than the fastest LNF. He's talking shit.
I'm gonna give Ryan a handicap here because
You can rev out LSJ's probably.
I can rev the snot out of it, and I'm not scared to take the weight out. And I don't know why he's such chicken shit about making his car lighter, but I'm not here to judge. It's just how he was born, and it's how he is. And he can't change that.
I like because I take it to show and stuff, and I like having a cool interior.
Yeah,
That's
you,
true.
you like the show stuff.
I like show, go. I like it all. Like,
If I could redo my car and have everything look perfect, like, yeah. But I just don't care.
That's
your
why
wheels
you,
are lighter. Your splitter is lighter. Your rear seat delete is lighter.
yeah, I've taken
There's something else that's.
Yeah, you have taken some weight
There's
out.
a lot of carbon.
Steering
fiber
wheel.
This is why
stuff.
you need 7 cars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, honestly,
Because
for
you have
like,
one that does each thing. And like we talked about, if you build a car to do one thing, it's going to do that thing really
And
good.
that is something, another thing that I wish I had learned a decade ago.
Yeah.
I'm sure Aaron's probably still watching. That's one of the things that he told me when I was talking to him, where I was basically panicking that nothing had gone wrong yet with my car. And he's like, dude,
You built it for this.
you made it for this. You did everything. You made every decision leading to this one goal.
Yep.
And you're surprised that it's doing what it was supposed to do?
I get it though.
And
I
it
do.
took me a moment to be like, wow, he's right.
That's how that
Whereas
works.
this whole time I was taking a street car and just making it fast. And then I literally stripped it down to nothing and
Yeah.
built what I wanted.
Yeah,
And it does what it's supposed to do.
exactly.
So, you know, and that is the thing, too. Like, that can lead you to having a lot of cars or just being okay with, hey, my car doesn't excel crazy in everything, but I built it to sort of do this one thing. Like,
Which I think, you know, sometimes we give the Cobalt community a little bit of shit.
Yeah, a
Because
A lot of bit of shit.
a lot of bit of shit because it's stuck at 400 to 500 wheel cars, and that's your jump from the majority to the minority is huge.
Yes.
Which
Like-
I don't really understand why people stop there.
it gets expensive.
I took
It
it
gets
off
expensive.
the shelf, ZZP block, and sent that thing to 800 this weekend.
But I think what I was referring to is a lot of people may have 1, maybe 2 cars.
yes.
And they get to 400 wheel, and it's fast enough to scare them, and then they leave it there.
Yep.
And
or
that's
they get
fine.
or they get to 500 something, and then they have to realize, so this is another important thing, too. Race cars
Shit's
break.
gonna break.
Shit's going to break. Mm-hmm. And, like,
You're gonna find a
Yeah.
limit of something.
Yeah,
and it's
race
a-
cars break, and that's part of it. And I'll let Tyler tell him what's the last thing I said to him before my last pass.
Yeah. So we're rolling up to the line. It was 4:45. Racing stopped at 5, and
Yeah, I was not going to have time to get back in line again.
yeah, we had 1 run left. There was no one out there, and I'm pushing the car, and he's like, "We might be doing a head gasket this weekend," and I was like, "Okay,
Okay,
that's good." But
because
you knew that
it's just
Yeah.
part of
ahead
it.
of the time.
I
It's
was
definitely part of
not
it.
scared at all. Like,
Yeah.
this could happen, but I made this
Yeah.
choice.
You knew those little 3/8 studs were like,
Yeah, yeah, they're holding on for
They
dear
did
life.
their job,
they did
though.
their job.
I'm so glad I have a coolant pressure sensor in that thing because
Yeah.
I was able to pull up the data log and be like, nah, she stayed
She
clamped.
good.
She
Yep.
did her job.
45 pounds.
But
next
yeah,
time.
like it's again, like it's. I kind of give a lot of shit to like pure straight up drag cars. Most times, I think most of them are just really shittily done, but they do what they do well.
Mhm.
You know, I appreciate it. Here's one I actually want to do: overrated, underrated, front wheel drive.
Underrated.
Underrated.
I want a waffle, but I can't. Al, you go for it.
Underrated. I'll add more to that after you go.
I'm gonna say underrated too, for the specific reason that everyone acts like, oh my God, a front wheel drive car is just the worst possible setup you can have and things like that. That's really not the case.
It is
Right.
the case if your only goal is the absolute maximum fastest you can possibly go.
But
Then all-wheel drive is king.
To an
But
extent,
that's not why I do this.
you look at a lot of the major racing series.
front wheel drives are winning.
Front wheel
now.
drive is
One of the
winning,
fastest,
if not up there.
Yeah, one of the fastest.
The
road course
fastest
road course
time
car
attack car.
is a front wheel drive
The,
car right now.
the fastest two are front wheel drive Hondas.
Yep.
Some of the fastest time attack or half mile cars, front wheel drive Hondas. Now,
Yep.
GTRs and Lambos,
There's a gap.
Yeah,
they're
that's
over
a
there.
gap.
So yes, all wheel drive has its perks. Rear wheel drive, while it's fun, really isn't that great in motorsports,
Yeah.
except for drifting.
Yeah.
I've tried to think about it every way, shape, and form, and pro-con it, and they even out every time. I think every single drivetrain has equal positives and negatives.
You just
Yep.
have to set them up correctly.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Again,
I agree with Feder there.
tires
That back
is-
half is what I live for.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Ben
back half.
Perez, 550 wheel is definitely not the max for the LTG. We've made over 6. We're
we've
coming
already
out
done
with an
that.
auxiliary fueling system that will take people way up and beyond.
My car made
Yeah.
540. We turned it down for my street, which is like 511-ish. And
on
yeah,
stock injectors,
stock injectors, cams.
low pressure pump,
Yep.
cams. That's it.
Yeah, and that was an E50 mix. But yeah, no, that's no.
Yeah, LTG has a
Yeah, I made
long
540
way to
on
go.
a Z57.
Long way to go.
A long way to go.
Bulletin for everyone. If you ever call me and say Z57 or Z,
Do it.
if you do
Do
anything
it.
aside from Z57, I kind of want to fight you.
5.7.
I mean, they're not wrong when they say Z57.
I know they're not, but it just bothers. It's like people that say Nick Cam.
Oh, I don't like that.
Nick
I
Cam
hate that.
bothers it. So 300 guys, it's NIC Cam, not
Yeah.
the Nick Cam. Stop it.
Yep.
Yeah, it stands for no intercooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or non-intercool, whichever. No intercool, non-intercool.
No intercooler, whatever.
But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, sometimes, and can I go back to the braking thing too, guys? Your cars will break, sometimes more catastrophically than others.
Yeah.
Like, you never know what's going to happen. It's going to sometimes be a little hard to come back, but eventually with some good friends and everything like that, you can make it good.
Ooh,
I
Steven.
would like to take a quick tangent on Michael's
Yeah.
comment there. Since this goes on both places, I'll read it for the Facebook people.
Yeah. By the way, quick, we are at the end, so get your last minute questions. We'll
Yep.
try to get all
I'll
the questions.
tell you when it's the end. Michael said, because 500 horsepower is virtually unusable on the street, especially in a front-wheel drive Cobalt, being unable to get new/built LSD transmissions easily when you break your current trans is probably my biggest deterrent. I understand that, but
I disagree with it.
I ran 10.9 and a quarter in 171.5 mile on an open diff F40.
Yep.
With stock L&F axles.
People, the LSD doesn't really matter on
straight
straight line stuff. It is only for road courses that LSD matters. You don't like having LSD or non-LSD.
Yeah.
Having a non-LSD is probably better for the street.
And I have the data sensors to know that I have zero issues with one-wheel peels.
Yep.
Yeah.
You set the car upright, and it'll put the power down just fine.
And Matt's
Yeah.
been saying that for years with the Grand Prix.
Yep.
They don't have
yeah.
LSDs. He
I-
ran 8.7, 8.9,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
The other thing is boost by gear.
That too.
That helps
If it
a lot.
wasn't for boost by gear, I probably would have given up on my car a long time ago.
Yeah. But it's 2021. And we have that shit.
We have
The
technology.
Circ Labs Cortex boost controller is very simple to use, and it does a great job of boost by gear.
Yep.
Like if you have the money to build a 500 something horse Cobalt, you have the money for that boost controller.
Yeah, it's not that
and
expensive.
it makes the car so much more fun to drive
Yeah.
because you can program it to not just blow the tires off all the time.
So if you want to get on the highway and do a 60 roll in third, you can have all your boost.
Yeah.
But driving around town, for a second, you can do gate pressure, whatever you want.
And honestly, too,
Yeah.
I street raced tons with 550, 560, 600 without one, and it was still usable.
Yeah.
You can make it work. You pedal it, you get the tires warm, you have good tires, keep going.
Yeah. These people don't realize it's like your version of street racing isn't going through town stoplight to stoplight.
No,
30 miles
absolutely
an hour.
not.
Like
Heck no.
Absolutely.
it's go on the highway, match speed at
60.
60 whatever.
Fucking you
Yeah.
let her rip tater chip kind
Yep.
of thing. But yeah, see that's you got to do what you.
But even at the level I'm at, boost by gear is extremely critical.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
100%.
Aaron's still here in the comments. He can chime in, too. Aaron has some amazing spreadsheets where he's calculated the actual torque at the tire where it meets the road.
Yeah.
And so he can program his car based off of what he knows that tire's able
Will
to
hook.
hook.
Corner
Yeah.
balancing too. We actually most of us here need to still
yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Like I need to, when
All of
I
us.
when I can, I'm
Really.
a corner
But
balance
like
snow as
my
well.
171 pass, it was gate pressure in first because couldn't turn it down any lower than that. Probably around low 400s in second, low to mid 500s in third, and it didn't make near 7 until I was in fourth gear.
Yeah.
And I hit the scramble button.
Imagine it's like having different level horsepowers for the max traction you can get all the time. This is a good question for all of us too. Meth injection, underrated or overrated?
Underrated.
I'm gonna go with overrated.
The only thing that I'm presenting to our overrated, underrated is availability of E85. If it is not available, underrated. If it is available, overrated.
Well, like
Yeah.
we might do meth on Kate's car, and that's because
Wow. Let's take that sound clip out of context.
what?
They said on. Oh, I guess they could be laying on the hood.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
But like those cars can't run E ever. Like
Uh-huh.
nobody has made anything to run E on those.
Oh, they're
What?
direct injected, right?
Yep.
What do you?
So yeah.
Are people just not doing anything? It's not like
They
oh my
need like
God.
16 fuel pumps to do it, and like 18 injectors.
All right, so
like-
we need to everything to get into BMWs and show them how to run
Yeah.
E85 on these
I
things.
guess so.
Alex, email me. I can get you some shorter sway bar end links. That'll help.
Yes.
Yep, we actually have those
Ooh.
working up right
Yeah,
now.
but if you're drag racing, it's extra weight. So either take it out or email me. I'll
Yeah.
get you some shorter ones.
Yep.
The trick to properly setting up an open diff is get slicks.
Yep.
Yes. Get
like-
tires.
Yeah.
Tires matter. No matter what.
So,
tires matter.
Pro tip. This is info from Shane Tecklenburg. I've mentioned it before. If you don't know who he is, you should. The average slick is going to have maximum G-force or maximum acceleration at about 20% slip. So when you have slicks on the car and you're at the drag strip, as long as you have the car corner balanced well, if a tire starts to overspin the other one, it actually gains traction, and they will self-balance each other out.
Huh.
Yeah.
So it's actually pretty difficult for you. You'd have to blow one tire all the way beyond that 20% slip
Yeah.
point before you would actually just sit there doing a one-wheel peel.
Slicks are pretty magical.
They're pretty awesome.
Tires run.
Yeah.
And slicks are shock absorbers for your drivetrain.
Yep.
Yeah.
As long as you launch like a smart person, you will stop breaking things once you get slicks.
Yep.
And
Also, I don't think a lot of people know how fast even a 500 horsepower Cobalt is with slicks. Like it is significantly faster than street tires.
two-tone
11s, easy.
two-tone was only making 600 when
Like
it went
low
nines.
sixes when it went nines.
Yeah.
So think about that. All you people out there on a 257 setup on E85, you could be low tens.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah, easily.
Yep.
Oh
So-
yeah, Alex. Either if you're drag racing, run no sway bar. If your car is stable enough to do so. If you have coilovers, you're probably fine.
Yep.
Yeah, I do
Or
not run a sway bar, and my car was the safest it's ever felt.
If you don't want to take it off and back on and stuff, just get adjustable end links.
Yeah.
And then
Which
make it clear everything
Yep.
good. Yeah.
we might have some coming on the website on
They
Monday.
might. Stay tuned.
All right. All right, guys. It is 5:06.
I got to mow the lawn.
Tell us to mow the lawn.
Oh,
What,
it's a hot day to mow the lawn.
what are you
it's
doing?
gonna
What
be
are you doing when
freaking
you go
terrible.
home, Al?
I don't know.
You want to come over?
I was planning on bullshitting for another half hour,
Mow
but
the lawn.
y'all gotta leave early.
Trevor, what are you doing this weekend?
I don't know yet. I'll find out.
What?
Working on some sort
Although
of car.
this weekend I'm going to
The
Grand
ZZP.
Rapids Museum tomorrow morning.
Mhm.
Then we're going to the ZZP Lake House Cookout,
Yep.
and then Sunday we're going to Grand Haven Beach.
There you go. Full
You have
ass
a busy weekend. Look
I
at
have
you.
a busy weekend. I have a lot of catching up
You got
to
a
do.
lot of white people shit to do this weekend.
I do.
That is some white people shit, boys
That's
and
some white
girls.
people shit.
Ryan, what are you doing?
Uh.
You were just making fun of me for not knowing what I'm doing.
No.
You have plans.
No, yeah. So possibly the zoo, and going to Holt to hang out with one of my friends.
Cool.
Unfortunately, there's no D&D because my dungeon master is getting married this weekend, and he's up
How
in
could he?
3 hours north. He said I can come, but it's 3 hours. I'm like, oh, dude,
Ain't that
I
far?
heart you. What? 3 hours?
That ain't bad.
No.
I've
Okay.
driven a lot farther for a lot dumber things.
Yep.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's way out in the middle of nowhere, and I don't know if the ATS will make down there without destroying front lips anymore. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, I'm doing that, and then hanging out with the lady and
The child.
the child, Isaiah.
And
The Cortex boost controller does work with supercharged cars with the bypass valve.
Yeah.
You just have to plumb it a little different.
Widowson's got one, right?
No, we do something different for his car.
Oh.
Jason
okay.
say, "Oh, I'm just trying to get you back out there, Ryan." Jason Wilson's a dick.
Yeah, kind of.
That's all right.
All right, you guys have a good weekend.
Yep.
Bye,
We'll see you
guys.
next week.
Yeah,
So
I would
Thanks
talk
for
forever,
joining.
but it is starting to get a little warm up here.
It's getting
yeah,
hot.
it's pretty hot up here.
I'm starting to sweat.
I'm not.
All right,
All right, boys.
you guys keep
Okay,
saying
bye.
Bye.
I forgot.
Later.
Yeah, he-
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we can't
Reach
we
it.
can't start talking
Reach
shit
it
yet.
in the
We gotta
snowball.
wait till
What is Jeff telling me to reach it in the snowball? I don't get it.
Reaching
reach it in the snowball. I don't know.
Oh,
Dylan,
maybe.
I want to see you go fast.
Al drops kids.
Let me know.